Welcome everybody to another episode of the Genesis Mindset. And before I dive straight into the episode, I want to just let everyone know that I do put the chapters in. So when you do watch this video, if there's certain parts that you want to skip to, you can go right ahead and do that. So for example, if you want to skip the intro and get straight into the content, then you can do that by simply scrolling to the appropriate area, whether you're on your phone or you're on your computer, so you can just get to the part that you're really interested in. So I always do that just to give more value and be conscious of your time. And because I do actually also like to just update everyone on what's actually been going on with the cryptocurrency markets relevant to what I'm actually covering. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So in this week's episode, I am talking about BTCMobick again. So the Genesis mindset for investing, trading, and life. So as always, just as a reminder, this is personal opinion only. This is not financial advice. But what I would like to say as well from here on out, so as I am a team member of the Motion Trust Tech company, if you are interested in buying BTCMobick, then you can actually do that through me. So it's not on any centralized or decentralized exchanges. There are no plans for a few years until we actually get the blockchain established and the network fully up running. So that's going to take a few years. So I'm going to go over the white paper today, but if you are interested in purchasing it, I have set up something and I'm a trusted member of the community. It's all on the blockchain. You can see everything. It's all verified. I'm pretty much fully doxed. I think it'd be very easy to know where I live and what I do. So I'm fully trusted within the community, and I'd like to think that I project a pretty trustworthy character, that I'm not actually going to rob anyone. But basically, I'm the middleman. If you do want to buy BTCMobick, I have actually gotten some friends who have bought some BTCMobick already, and they basically send the money to me. I send it to the person that I'm going to buy it off, and then I'm basically that middleman. I don't take any cut from it. It's just, I'm literally just doing that to help you and help the network. So there's no benefit in there for me whatsoever. And it's all verified on the blockchain. So you can just keep an eye on that. So if you are interested, you can always reach out and let me know. So, okay, now, today I'm going to be talking about the BTCMobick White Paper. And one of the things that I'm so excited about, this is the public goods. So I'm going to go into what it means by the public goods and why I think this is really the key. So I have covered in the previous episodes about the airdrop, which I thought was a phenomenal idea. So what I'm actually going to do in this episode is go over just quickly, first of all, just talking about what a white paper is. So if you're a complete noob to what cryptocurrency is, then you're going to understand what a white paper is. Then I'm going to talk about the quick differences between the different kinds of Bitcoin forks and why this one is, in my opinion, revolutionary to those other Bitcoin forks. So Bitcoin white paper. What is the Bitcoin white paper? So Bitcoin white paper is this document that was produced by Satoshi Nakamoto. And Satoshi Nakamoto is a pseudonym for either an individual or a group of people. And the document was called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And it was released in 2008 and sent out via email to a bunch of different people. And so this was something that really opened people's eyes up. As you can imagine, at the start, it wasn't very big, but it just started to plant this seed, and it came out of the collapse of the global financial system. So this was out of the 2008 global financial crisis. And so what it actually does as the white paper, it actually outlines the key concepts and principles behind what Bitcoin is. So for example, everything about the network. So how this kind of a blockchain system, how mining, how public ledgers resolves the issues of double spending problem, how it's a peer-to-peer system, how it's a decentralized digital currency, most importantly, and basically how this network works to validate cash payments between people. And so some people actually consider this to be one of the most revolutionary pieces of literature or documents of our time. Some people say it's the most important document of our time because it really lays the foundation of a new financial system. And out of this, it actually is now a phenomenon in cryptocurrency. So whenever there's new cryptocurrency projects, they always follow this idea of trying to collect their thoughts into a white paper. So then they basically do the same thing that the Bitcoin white paper does. Their key concepts and key ideas about what the blockchain or the cryptocurrency is about is captured in this white paper. And I want to just say this because I just think it's an awesome fact. So on the public ledger, on the very first block for Bitcoin is the message written, the Times. So 3rd of January, 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. So this is why it actually started, because they could see the writing on the wall that the financial system as it was, the traditional financial system as it was, is getting towards the end of its lifespan. And so this is something that I love that fact. I don't love that the financial system is going to end. It's probably going to create anarchy and a lot of heartache around the world. But I just love that there's this thing on the blockchain that's forever there, capturing this moment of we were irresponsible, we didn't do things correctly, and now we're suffering the consequences. Here is the proof, and it's forever there in the blockchain. It's beautiful to me. It's really beautiful. Okay, so that was a Bitcoin white paper. So obviously there's Bitcoin forks. So I have spoken about this in previous videos, and some of them have white papers, some of them don't. So I'm just going to cover quickly 3. And so the Bitcoin Cash, the main issue that it addresses in the white paper is the issue of scalability on Bitcoin, and it tries to resolve that. So nothing really revolutionary. Then there was Bitcoin SV. So this also tries to address the issues of size and scales of the blockchains, of the blocks. And this was actually created. So this is a bit of interesting quiz information, you could say, useless or otherwise. It was a fork of Bitcoin Cash by Craig Wright. So Craig Wright actually claimed to be, and still claims to be, Satoshi Nakamoto. The thing is with this, nobody believes it, because if he was Satoshi Nakamoto, people have asked him to prove it. And it's very easy to prove. If he's Satoshi Nakamoto, all he has to do is move something on the blockchain, and people will know that anything on the blockchain is moved when it's from the very first blocks. So that's what the whole public ledger system is. So you can actually see, this person is moving it there. You don't necessarily know who those people are, but we would know Satoshi Nakamoto because we'd be able to verify these blocks, these Bitcoins that are being moved were Bitcoins that were created from the Genesis block. So if it was Satoshi Nakamoto, it would have to come from the Genesis block. And Craig Wright has yet to do this. And I'm ashamed to admit that he is Australian. So although I'd like to think he's probably a little bit more British. So Bitcoin Gold. The thing that Bitcoin Gold tried to address is mining decentralization. So the issue that mining was not decentralized enough with Bitcoin, so it tried to address it. So really, are any of these really kind of groundbreaking or innovative ideas? In my opinion, probably not. They're really good for the technology perhaps, but not really anything innovative in the context of what it can do for the world. So the social aspect of it, they're really just sort of technological innovations. And then we come to the BitMobick white paper. So the Bitcoin fork of BitMobick. Now, obviously, I'm going to go just very quickly onto my website where I've highlighted this white paper. And the 2 best ideas in this white paper is the first, the airdrop design. So I've actually covered that in the previous video. So if you do want to go there, you can check it out on the previous video and why I think this airdrop design was really phenomenal. And the second idea that's got me really excited is public goods. So public goods, it actually took me a while to figure out what this actually meant. I didn't even really know. So just to kind of give an idea of what public goods means, it's something that has a shared benefit to everyone. It's positive to everyone. It's something that promotes cooperation and a mutual benefit for everyone within the ecosystem. And therefore, it promotes sustainability of an ecosystem, and it gives economic value to an ecosystem. So to give you an example of public goods, when it comes to governments might want clean air. So in a country, we want clean air. So what do? There's street trees. Now, no one pays specifically for those street trees. They're public goods. So obviously people get taxed for these. People's tax goes towards this. The government spends it. That is for the betterment of everybody. Same thing with clean water. So in Australia, we have a very good water infrastructure. Some of it's private, some of it's not. And so this is considered a public good when it's actually something done in the benefit of everybody. And so this is something that is completely unique to BitMobick. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a cool idea, but what actually makes it so cool? What actually makes it so innovative and groundbreaking? So I'm actually going to go now to, let's actually get into the website. Okay, so on my website, coexistandstephen.com, you can just Google BitMobick, and so BTCMobick, and it will come up with the white paper. So you can do that, or you can go to the link here. I'll end up putting that in the description here. So BitMobick white paper, the innovations that could improve the Bitcoin network with public goods. So this is just my addition to the title, just for the record. Okay, so I'm not going to go through it in detail. You can read it in detail. I'm just going to quickly cover it. So first of all, they talk about the genesis of BitMobick, when it was created, the core idea about how it's designed to wake up the sleeping Bitcoin whales, and then the supply. So the supply is very interesting. So at the moment, as a fork of Bitcoin, it copies the chain. Therefore, however many Bitcoins are on Bitcoin get copied onto BitMobick. Now, the difference with this is Altemin, the founder, paused the blockchain and then sped up the mining rate so that he could actually mine a further 14.7 million coins. Now, this is the key distinction between this project and pretty much every other project that I know. So any other project where the founder or the foundation has a token supply, or they have venture capitalists who put a lot of money in to get a large portion of that token supply, which is always centralized. It's always centralized. When they have that token supply, usually they just use it to sell for themselves for personal gain. Altemin has promised to not sell a single BitMobick for personal gain. All of the BitMobicks are designed to be used for public goods. This is something that is extremely unique to any other cryptocurrency, and particularly any fork of Bitcoin that I've ever seen. So the public airdrop, I have gone in detail in the previous video. So if you would like to see that, please go back. But just very quickly, the beauty of the public airdrop was the fact that people didn't just get this token for free by just sitting there doing nothing. They had to go to some physical locations, either hiking up mountains, even to different countries to receive this airdrop. So they spent their time, their energy, and their money to receive this airdrop. So in their mind, it has some significance. This free token has some significance in their mind, because they actually spent what was theirs on it in terms of time, energy, and money and flights. And so the airdrop has actually concluded at the moment. And then, so one of the reasons why BitMobick was created in the first place was as a social experiment. So Altemin has been in Bitcoin since 2014. So he's been in it for a very long time. He's tried to advocate for certain changes, but couldn't do it because it's too decentralized. In order to get a change that follows a particular flow, it requires the whole social network to be in consensus to follow this direction. And this is what a fork is, when they can't actually decide whether to go this way or that way, or there's a huge division within the community that says we want things to be this way, then it gets forked. And whoever follows can follow that fork, and whoever wants to continue with the original fork can go in that one. So Altemin created a fork to try and inscribe some of his ideas. And Altemin is very unique in the sense that, as I've mentioned in the previous video, he has an economic and commerce background. He's very well read. He's a professor. He teaches blockchain and Bitcoin. He knows what he's talking about. He knows things from a humanitarian point of view, from a philosophical point of view, from an economic point of view. So his perspective is very, very unique. So he's a very, very intelligent human being. And so what he observed is that Bitcoin is the first phenomenon to surpass the meaningful exchange price of $1 with no guarantee of anything. So $1 is very significant in our mind, because it means now this thing that I have is now worth $1. Anything that it is above that, that means this thing I can exchange for more than $1. So that in itself has a lot of significance in the human mind. So BitMobick began as a social experiment to reproduce this phenomena. So his hypothesis of the experiment is these 3 points. First of all, how money is obtained is more important than how it is used. So for example, with Bitcoin, it's obtained through mining. So there is some effort there. What people gain by investing time, mental, physical, and material costs gives it a value that can be retained above what they had originally invested. So again, if we look at things like what he tried to do with BitMobick, with the airdrop, I'd witnessed all these things, and before even reading the white paper was like, what he's actually done here with this airdrop design is phenomenal. Then when I read the white paper and realized this is what he was actually trying to do, and in my mind, it was already achieved. Like, it created this core of people that were fanatics about this project because they'd invested their time, money. They'd traveled to different locations. They'd physically expelled their energy to get this token. So in their mind, it gives it a huge value. That is something that is brilliant. And he also says it's better for the growth of the ecosystem to distribute a large amount of coins to a few people rather than a small amount to many people. And collectively, what this is about is to help solidify the focal point so the price rises quickly. So again, even in Bitcoin, there's the pre-2012. So before that, there's these Bitcoin whales that have a huge amount of supply, and they're the ones that really kicked off the project. So if you can imagine Bitcoin, if it had millions before 2012. If that was every single person had one, it's like, well, what's the big deal? But if I've got 1 million myself, so Satoshi Nakamoto has well over 1 million, then it's within the benefit of them to promote the ecosystem to expand the ecosystem and expand the network. So that's a very powerful idea. And so already the evidence of the BitMobick social experiment is a success. So there's more than 3,000 people participating in various chat rooms throughout the world. This number is growing daily. As of September 2023, it's 150 to 200,000 Korean won. So it's far surpassed $1. So that is, that basically translates to, I think it's 150 to 200 Australian dollars. So it's far surpassed the $1 mark. Okay, so now this is where it gets really interesting. So public goods supply for ecosystem growth. So again, think of a government spending money for the betterment of the whole country. So it's like a tax in a way, but the tax is actually getting used to create roads, street lights, plant trees, clean water, fresh air, parks that everybody can use. This is what public goods are. So of the coins held by the issuer to the public wallets, approximately 7 million will be donated to companies and universities helping to grow the ecosystem. So 7 million of the 14.7 million will be donated by Altcoins. So he's already given away a lot of that 14.7 million in the airdrop. He's given away 4 million in the airdrop so far. Tokens will be transferred free of charge to companies that will help grow the ecosystem and its value. So the universities, the companies, they don't have to buy the token. They're just giving them for free. Now, already these tokens have a value. So if we look at this, so as of September 2023, there has been various proposals made to companies and universities, and negotiations have already begun. So they're making moves, they're taking action. This is what I love. And so 1.2 million coins are donated to one major media company. The media company can distribute the coins through its business activities and advertising, thereby growing the ecosystem and giving it social proofing. So if we think of a media company, let's say in Australia, I don't even want to name any media companies because I don't want to promote any particular media companies, but just think of a media company who then gets to advertise. So they might say, okay, if you, as you watch the advertisement, okay, watch this show now and have this, keep this key code word and you'll get one BitMobick if you just watch the show and remember the code. So then it's in the benefit of them because they're getting something in return in your attention and in your viewing them, and then they can get advertising revenue, and the ecosystem gets something out of it because it allows the ecosystem to grow. It gives it social proofing. Oh, this thing, BitMobick, is on the news. It's on the TV. What's actually going on here? Fantastic idea, brilliant idea. So they're very specifically targeted 4 sectors. So one is media, one is IT, 2 is energy, 3 is energy companies rather, and the 4th is universities. I think these are 3 fantastic sectors. So the IT company, so let's say, because it's Korea, let's say something like LG or Samsung. So basically, the global IT company will use the blockchain ecosystem to incentivize employees and advance the business department so they can pay people in BitMobick, for example. And if it was me, if I was an IT expert, I would work for cryptocurrency. I wouldn't work for fiat. I would love to work for cryptocurrency. I'd have no issue with that whatsoever. Companies can place identity authentication or micropayment systems on BitMobick mainnet. So basically what this is saying is, just like the Bitcoin network, things can be built on top of it. So Bitcoin is the layer 0 and BitMobick can be built on top of it. Applications can be built on top of it and it can integrate with Bitcoin. So this is something where they're actually going to help the Bitcoin cause as well, which I think is really cool. Now the mining nodes, I love this idea. Love it, love it. So 1/3 of the total mining rights are granted to energy companies. For example, renewable energy companies. So for example, solar and wind. So at certain periods throughout the day, they're non-peak hours, but still it's generating power, but that power is just going to waste. But now you can incentivize these companies. Hey, you can actually mine. We will give you the rights to mine this token and you can actually use it for your own company. You can use it to profit from this downturn in peak. So you're using your power, you're helping the network, and you're securing the network, and all you had to do was invest in mining operations. And when it's something as small as BitMobick, it's not very expensive compared to Bitcoin. But they can also use that same mining operation to mine for Bitcoin. So instead of it just being a negative externality where it's creating all this negative pressure on the world, one of the big criticisms of Bitcoin is that it's creating all this pollution because it costs so much to mine. Don't get that issue here. And then 10,000 coins to universities and approximately 20,000 coins in mining rights will be donated to important universities. So to promote the growth of the ecosystem that is centered around universities by providing approximately 1 million Korean won's worth, so $1,166.90 Australian, worth of coins to students, so which can be converted into cash. So if a meaningful coin ecosystem is established within a university, further mining rights will be provided. Universities can utilize the coins as a source of funding and research initiatives. So I just love the IT. So it's expanding it out. It's getting eyeballs on the network. This is about growing the network. This is about growing the ecosystem. This is about promoting it and being a mutual benefit between the people that it's being given to and the network itself. That's why it's public goods. IT, again, it's just in alignment with the technology, with blockchain. Mining, it's the technology that's being utilized to actually uphold the network. And students, so they're the youth, they're the ones that really, they're getting these things, they're getting these things for free. They're getting these things for free. So if there's a university, I went to Curtin University, studied architecture. Now, if we could get mining rights and it would help us create funds so we could do research initiatives, why would Curtin University say no to these sorts of things? If I, as a student, could get $1,000 worth of BTCMobick and it's part of this ecosystem within the university, I can use that $1,000. I can go to the cafeteria, spend it there. I can hire certain things out. Like it's an ingenious idea, and because it captures the youth as well. It captures people like myself in that generation, who I'm a little bit older than university these days, but it captures that pool of people. So I think that's a really fascinating idea. Okay, so the other really important thing to note is, for example, these media companies and global IT companies, they can't sell it. So they're getting given it for free, but they're not allowed to sell it. They're not allowed to sell it. They actually have to use it to expand the ecosystem. They can use it to advertise, to give to people, to get the eyeballs, to get the attention. They can use it to pay people with, but they're not allowed to actually sell it. So it's a massive positive. It's something that's being given, but they can't dump the price. That's brilliant. So the total public goods supply coin distribution, so 6.2 million to the companies and universities, 4 million to the general public through the airdrop, 2.5 million to be claimed through BTCMobick app. So this is just an estimation by previous Bitcoin holders, and then 1.6 million to be mined and distributed over the next 10 years. So after the distribution, the issuer, this is very important. After this distribution, the issuer's holdings will be burned completely. So ultimately, whatever's left of this supply will be burned. So it will be removed from circulation. So when considering the 1 million coins to be mined over the next 100 years, so this is in the context of the Bitcoin mining, there's about another million Bitcoin tokens to be mined. Basically, it's going to leave about 15.5 million BTCMobicks, and this is similar to Bitcoin's 21 million minus the approximately 5 million which are lost. So this is just some estimations by Altcoins. So what makes this different from other altcoins? The free distribution is something that, yes, there's free distributions, but this is quite unique. So they're all issued by the issuer, completely free of charge. The issuer doesn't actually keep any for himself. So this is completely unique. It's not like we're going to give you some of these tokens and I still have the majority. Yes, he has the majority, but he can't sell them. He has to give them away. Not only is it distributed freely to the public, but also to companies and institutions. So this is unique. This is the public goods idea. I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen this idea of actually giving it to companies and institutions. And so the completion of the distribution to the companies and universities is estimated by January 2029. It can actually finish prior to that. And any remaining coins by the issuer or held by Altcoins will be burned. So there is no current exchange listings. It's not currently on any DEX, not currently on any centralized exchange or decentralized exchange. So therefore, it can be traded without any tax implications. Once the network is complete, so once all the tokens have been distributed, once it's been set up, the ecosystems have been established with the mining rights fully given to the energy companies, to everyone set up in universities, then that's when the network will be complete. Then it's going to be moved onto centralized or decentralized exchanges, and there are plans to list it. So the transfer of the public goods coin supply. So this basically just summarizes everything about the public goods. So all coins held by the issuer are public goods for the expansion of the ecosystem. If the public goods coins They're all publicly available. Anyone can see them. If they flow into exchanges, the issuer of the coins will eliminate the coins immediately. So in other words, if someone hacks into these public goods, then he can just eliminate them immediately to prevent any harm to the ecosystem. If he moves them, so if Altemin moves them, people know where he lives. He's a public figure. He's got a YouTube channel. People know his life, his family. So he can also be up for legal issues if this happens. So he's really putting his skin on the line here, his neck on the line. And then all coins will be incinerated after January 2029, anything that remains. Metaverse ecosystem created by the BTCMobick. So his concept of the metaverse is the blending of the virtual, the digital, and this real world. So companies will contribute to the growth of the ecosystem, as I've already mentioned. So this just goes into a little bit more detail. The more companies that receive BTCMobick for free, the more the value of the BTCMobick increases as they contribute to the growth of the network. BTCMobick will potentially be counted as an asset on financial statements, just like Bitcoin currently is. Although it is currently very difficult, if BTCMobick begins to be traded on centralized or decentralized exchanges, it will be captured as an asset. So at the moment, it's not captured as an asset. So that's why it's tax-free. So even if you were to buy BTCMobick, it's tax-free. If you were to sell it, it's tax-free. It's just like if I had a baseball card and I'm trading baseball cards, tax-free. As Bitcoin is gradually becoming classified as an important corporate asset, BTCMobick can also be classified as an important asset. And utilizing the BTCMobick network for development, BTCMobick is a protocol that is compatible with Bitcoin's network. So after it can be used with Bitcoin at any time. So things that are successfully created on BTCMobick can also go onto Bitcoin. And so therefore companies can also utilize all the different forks of Bitcoin. So in conclusion, so while nothing has been guaranteed by BTCMobick, the issuer promises never to sell a coin for personal gain. Beautiful. This is a promise. This is a legally binding promise. So BTCMobick is seeking to prove that the phenomenon of Bitcoin is scientifically reproducible. It also seeks to prove that cryptocurrencies can create value and practical usage through partnerships with corporations and universities. So this is an experiment. And if it works, this is just one experiment. This means that it can be reduced infinitely. It doesn't have to be all Bitcoin is the reserve currency of the world. Maybe the reserve currency is the world is this whole ecosystem of different Bitcoins or these different cryptocurrencies. Who knows? All that I know is I'm very excited. I love the concept of public goods, and I'd love to know what you think about the concept of public goods. I'm actually going to cover it in more detail in the next episodes, giving some examples about how this might actually take place. Today, it was just really, I'm trying to be brief, but it ended up being half an hour. And I'm talking so fast. I'm trying to really condense as much value into a short amount of time, but there's so much to cover all the time. So I hope I was able to cover it. I hope you do make use of the chapters so you can at least skip to certain different parts. And I hope you were able to enjoy it at least till the very end. And what's the thing that excites you most about this white paper? Maybe there's nothing that excites you. I'd love to hear that too. So with that, thank you very much. I should have a stream coming up soon, maybe either with the Verse or Crypto Coffee. I'm hoping to organize that within the next month or two. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you. Bye.